Agriculture is such an important economic contributor to the success of all of our communities in Seward County. It's very exciting each year to recognize a farm family as well as create an awareness of all the many aspects of agriculture that we are sometimes taking for granted. Tonight we are honoring the Sloup family farm operations, Sloup Simmentals and Sloup-Thorell Detasseling. Shirley and her husband Eugene Sloup had 4 children, Bill, Susan, Scott, and Nick. Shirley has a whole herd of grandchildren and great-grandchildren as well. Recognized as a pioneer farm family, the farming operation began by raising livestock and crops. Scott and Glenda live in Seward. Scott previously was employed by Seward Motor Freight for 24 years, and Glenda has served as a nurse at Seward Memorial Hospital since they were married. They have 2 children and 5 grandchildren. Susan is now retired after teaching elementary grades for 30 years in York. Bill and Deb are both retired Seward Public School teachers. Bill is involved in both Sloup Simmentals and Sloup-Thorell Detasseling businesses. They have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Nick and Andrea have been married 23 years and are both very involved in the Sloup Simmental business. They have 5 children.
Well, it's kind of a family affair because my brother Bill has cows of his own, my mom does, and then Scott has his on the side, but he's extremely helpful with day-to-day things too. And mom's kind of the better word to go for. She's extremely helpful with a number of things. One thing I appreciate mom that a lot of people in the cattle business don't know is she's extremely good at checking heat and letting me know when a cow's in heat. We purchased my first 2 Simmental heifers in 1981, and from there it's grown to around 270. We are now into an extensive flush program. We have 18 cows that we're flushing. We have 5 sales that we have every year, 2 female sales, one the New Direction sale, which we will have our 22nd annual, October 17th of this year, and then we also have our 2nd annual spring turnout sale, which is in May 21st of this year, along with a bull sale that we have with J&C Simmentals the end of January, and then we also have 2 online sales. We have, like I said, our production sales. Usually we have cattle sold in between 20 and 25 states, so and also Canada. And we sell a numerous amount of embryos, probably 300 to 350 a year, that go all over the United States. My wife Andrea does the majority of that to help with that part of it, is getting ready for that May sales and ad deadlines and registrations and transfers of all the animals. It's a pretty extensive program. We calve around 40 to 45 cows in the fall, and then around 175 in the spring. We usually sell approximately 75% of the calf for breeding purposes, whether they're bulls or heifers to other programs, and probably retain about 20% for ourselves, the females, and then the other 5% or 5 to 10% sell at their local markets. And just, now the typical Simmental is, well, there's red cattle, but black and black volley are definitely the thing that's the trend that we're at right now. Probably the biggest change in our business is the availability of the internet and constantly changing it. We do it every month. And now, like I said, we have 2 online sales, which is also huge. We're able to expand our customer base. The phone lines and people on the internet, that probably 50% of the cattle sell to either people on the phone or on the internet. So there's a huge group of people that aren't even at the sale that will purchase cattle. And usually I'd say we have, I would guess, around 300 people from all these different states that come to the farm. So that's that are around the Seward County area, that stay in the motels, eat the good steak restaurants. So there's some real positives.
In our operation, we, of course, maintain all our pasture. We do rent our row crops out, and we've been real blessed to have some really good farmers, Lyle Kirschke and Tyson Hagelholtz.
The highlights for the Sloup Simmentals program, I think, is the donors we have. And we're fortunate to have one of the top premier donors in the breed, Magnetic Lady. And she has produced, she's fourth in the whole, in all the Simmental breed and breed registration. So she has over 120, 122 females and bulls that are registered and that are using breeding programs throughout the U.S. So that's something I'm very proud of because there's not many cows. She's at the top 1% in the whole breed as far as generating dollars and as far as generating offspring.
I've been asked about detasseling and how we've been able to have that become the business that it has, and I always am mindful of the fact that God has blessed this area. Many of the people that are here tonight at this banquet with the world's largest underground aquifer, the Ogallala Aquifer, and there's a reason that Pioneer and Monsanto and Mycogen have built their seed facilities in this area, and they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that aquifer. So as much as we'd like to take credit for having this opportunity, it probably was created by a higher power than us. As far as our detasseling businesses are concerned, in our family, we actually have two different companies. We have a company named Sloup-Thorell, which we've been doing this, both families, the Thorell family and the Sloup family, since the late 70s. And in the late 80s, we went together, and we've been doing it ever since. And then my brother Nick and I, and Scott helps us with a company called NBS. We do some detasseling out of AgriLine at Battle Creek and BB Farms in North Bend. And Sloup-Thorell works with Pioneer Seed out of York and Monsanto near Waco. And then we do the detasseling for Lauber Seed Farms down by Geneva. Job is created because we need to produce a hybrid seed, which has two different types of seeds, and then we have to detassel, remove up to about 99.7% of the tassels out of the one row, set of rows, so that the other row can pollinate it. And that takes a lot of labor for us. And over the years, we've had, in 2013, as the acres for seed corn were at their all-time high, we employed right at 1,000 people. Last year, as the acres came down, we were in that 600 range. That's both companies. And that means about 10% of those are adult crew leaders. We've been blessed with a tremendous set of mainly school teachers that are professionals that know how to work with kids and lead kids. And we've had so many people that you could never name them all. They've been with us many years. And that's been our biggest strength of our leadership. Also, I think there's been a much greater emphasis, and I'm really glad about that, on safety. On behalf of our whole family, we want to say thank you to the KIWANIS for choosing our family and for allowing us to have this night. It's really special, and we appreciate Dennis and Pam being here doing this interview, but we're deeply appreciated.